Hey guys, this is Killrob speaking, and today we continue our work on the Countess Run Simulator. Today we are starting episode 10 and currently we are 19 hours into the process of making this tool. And today's goal will be to probably finish up, mostly at least, the setup UI overall. Because we still have to do the Rune stuff. Let me show you what the program looks like right now. And once we have the Rune UI done, which will be some nice arrays, mainly from a code perspective, we're going to add the plus and minus button for the select runes mode. And then for the number of runs mode, the only thing we need is the number of runs here, of course. For the select runes mode, we do need to have the switch for the number of repetitions, and yeah, we do need the plus and minus button as well as the cube button, the check mark, and the logic for all that. And runtime, cube time, runs per frame, maybe the runs per frame. I'm not too fussed about it right now. We can, yeah, although the simulation, I'm not sure if we will be able to hook that up today, but let's first get started on all the Rune UI, which is more or less dynamically generated, and that should be pretty easy. Let's have a quick look here. So the Data Manager, UI Manager, it's always, oh, we are in the UI Manager. So here, as you can see, for each column of runes, we already have a little bit of code. And to that we will add, because this is, the looper variable goes from rune 1 to 11 in this case. So this is exactly what we need. We can just add the plus and minus button into this one here and have it also be, those buttons also be part of an array. So that makes life a lot easier, keeping this structure and then just working within that. Looking good to me. I think I get started with exactly that, adding plus minus button as well as one of the check marks, the check mark button. Do we even have that? Do we have a check mark button already? It doesn't look like it. No. And do we have the in the tiles? Where is it? Sprites? Maybe in the sprites we already have that. Similar to results. No. Oh, there's the check mark. Right. And we only have the free, not the empty one. Interesting. I think what we are going to do there, I did have a quick look at this, and I noticed that we did not export an empty checkbox. So I did that off camera yesterday or something. And I can just add it as the fourth frame. I'm not going to distract, or no, to break the convention we have here, that is 0, 1, and 2 for the different hotness of the buttons. So I'm going to add it as the third image index. Okay, easy as that. Just added it, just dragged it in there, and now it is accessible from whatever object we have created for it. And it looks like we have no object for that one, so I guess I'll make one first. Alright, well, that is something already. There's some interaction going on. Oh, these are in the wrong order. Minus first, and this might be a little poorly placed, but other than that, it's pretty good, I would say. So I made a title and I created the correct coloring for some of the variables we are going to display as well, and at the same time I wanted to layer in the title. It's poorly placed, of course, but that doesn't matter for now. And we do see all the buttons. So how did I do that, you wonder? Pretty simple, super straightforward, because we already had the base structure for it. If I can find it, UI Manager, we're already in it. We're in the draw event though, so in the creation event, here we have it. So for now, We don't have any functionality in it, but double click here. So what I did is create an array with rune more, rune less, and rune cube. And that is an array where I put in the buttons that will decrease and increase the rune numbers we are looking for in the specific select runes find mode. And yeah, so that is super straightforward. Just put in the object, but now I need to set the proper variables for those in those buttons. I'm probably going to make these buttons just generically have those variables I need, and then just not use them for the other instances where I use them. So it's fine. Yeah, let me do that. Let me give it a little bit more of an actual implementation. I'm just about to make the tooltip for the runes a little bit more user-friendly in that I'm drawing a black background before I'm drawing the rune text. I think I just figured out how to properly do this. So we set the color to black, then draw a rectangle from the object position minus 60 pixels in X, starting from Y, and then going to X. So 60 pixels wide in total, and Y plus 28, because the Y-axis increases downwards in counting. So this pixel up here in the corner would be 0, 0, and we have set our object to also have 0, 0 in this corner. So we want to draw a sprite, or a black rectangle from this point minus 60 there on the same height down 28 to this point there. And I think I just did that. Let's try it out and see if that now works. I believe that should be correct. Come on. And yes, that is working. It has now the same size as the rune and the rest of this line. Ooh, these tooltips. Oh, that isn't quite working yet. But you see, it also works for Shile. It has a large enough backplating for it to not run over. Okay, I fixed some more distances between these elements, and it's starting to look really, really nice. As you can see here, there's plenty of room for some clearly displayed numbers, and the tooltips are looking good. And now we don't get everything selected by just hovering over it anymore. And now there's also enough place for a bit, or enough space up here for a bit of a title, which there wasn't before. So I'm going to place that down, and then I'll try to do the same for these runes as well. And then, well, functionality needs to come in here, and there actually needs to be some display numbers here too, and it needs to check for us to get this gray going on, graying out of zeros so that they don't pop too much. I will have to implement that too, but one step at a time. Okay, that was... Oh shit, oh shit. Oh, I've broken so many things. But, yeah. Gray zeros. Yes. Not quite what it was intended. Let me fix that up. Now, that looks a lot better already, and no more weird behavior with the coloring. So, now the only thing I need is to actually... only, in air quotes, is to actually make these buttons work. They are properly deactivated, as they should be. Is this actually aligned? Let me take a really close look at the screen. Yeah, more or less. More or less. I don't quite like the look of this gray, because it's just as gray as the runes. It almost looks like that's the default gray color, which would indicate that they are active. But maybe it doesn't matter too much. Let's see what it looks like once you can increase these That would be better. And how did I do that? Let me show you. Let me show you. So in the draw event of the UI manager, I have added a looper for loop, which loops through the required runes. Those are the runes that the user sets, and decide whether or not it should be drawn there. The number that is currently required, i.e. set by the user, should be drawn in white or grey, and currently they all go into the else here, which is grey delivery of that text to the appropriate location, which we already prepared via the creation event. We've already figured that out, so it was just copy-paste. And yeah, I think that's pretty clear, isn't it? So, looking good so far. Now I need a way to actually increase the runes required. That should be simple enough. Okay. Indices everywhere! Perfect. Because we're doing it for the exact same looper index for one rune. Excellent. This should work now, hopefully. Never say that. Oh, no, it doesn't work. Okay, what the fuck. I have not done so for the other runes yet, of course, so I have to limit it to 12 here right now just to try it out. Well, yep. Can't write to objects that are not actually there. Yep, that works. Okay. What? Oh, it's too many runes. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. No, stop it. No. Why does this happen, you ask? That's a simple answer. I'm never resetting the isClicked flag. Thus, we are now trying to gather 1000 Eld runes. That's smart. And here you can see the actual frame rate we are running at right now, which is set in stone by my setting in the program. Alright, let's terminate this before we have to find 2000 Eld runes. Yeah, nice. So yeah, that's something I forgot. Let me quickly do that. Okay, that should prevent us from going crazy. So once I get into the loop, I instantly set that flag to false once again. That should save us. So, here we go. Yes! Look! How pretty! No! No! Wrong logic! No! Wrong logic. We are going to find minus 13 tier runes. What does that even mean? Does that mean that we have to give back the last 13 we found? I don't know. Yeah, that was a simple bug to fix. I just had to have there is no upper limit to the runes after all, how many you want. So I can just... I just had to use the runes less button there as a limitation. And now everything in there should work. Let's have a quick look. So we have this, plus, 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 minus, 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 and yay! Oh, they don't by default switch to the off state. Okay, that's good to know. I have to do that in the creation event. Yeah, that's good to know. Now, this is looking pretty solid, I would say. Not too shabby. It's working as intended. Yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, I think I have all the logic that is needed for the rune cubing check mark. But I'm not quite sure. Let me try it out first. This is always a little wonky. Probably it's working with a few bugs. Okay, so this is still working. That's nice. And... oh! What does it do there? Nothing? Oh no! No, it doesn't work. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Ah, button logic. Wow, that took a long while before I had it figured out. But now I think that it is working as intended. So We can click it. We can add runes. Can we? Yes, we can also deselect it again. Nice. This is all working. Whoop. Here we go. Add all the runes. All goes away again. We can cube them. Yep. That is all very nice. So now I need to do the implementation for the other columns of runes, which is mainly a copy-paste. So it shouldn't be too bad, although you never know what happens. Okay. A bit of copy-paste work and smart changing of parameters for the instance creation. That should give me the correct layout. And now we're testing if that is actually the case. Let's see if it's all over the place. No, it isn't. And correctly, no. Okay. They're not actually assigned correctly. Oh, and I cannot click them. But I can here. Okay, I've made the UI for this, but not for this. Yeah. Ah, yeah, I did have the loop that I had to limit it. Okay, well, fair enough. But the layout looks correct. Apart from these. These are now a little off-putting. I shall move them. Cleaning up code, yo! Just moved the more general stuff into another for loop so that all the UI creation is in the same place. Oh, and doesn't have all the various button settings that are generic clustered in here in the more specific loops. But I do it later here. That's much nicer. Oh no, what have I done? Oh shit. Oh my god. Well, that is buggy now. I wanted to have the zeros in between here, and not all over the place again. But these have moved. At least something. Was it as simple? Oh no! This is still not working. But the zeros are now in the correct place. And nice. We want to have 2 Zod runes, please. So that is working. And oh, nice. It just exactly covers the field over there. That is actually a pretty cool design, even though it wasn't really what I intended. But I would have optimized it to be that way anyway. But I really like it. This is some good quality stuff, yes. And of course the triggering is real. How dare you call a Mal rune a high rune? I will unsubscribe from your channel. No one actually said that, by the way, but yes, there is always discussion about that, and I find that discussion completely, absolutely fucking stupid, because they are literally the high runes. There are 33 runes. If you split them into 3 parts, you have the low runes, the mid runes, and the high runes. There's no discussion about it. You can call, some of you might call only Chum and Zod high, and others might call everything from a, let's see, anything beyond a Hell rune high if you're a noob. Well, yeah, I don't care, because these are high runes, according to an equal split between low, medium, and high. Now the behavior is fixed. No, I said it too early. No, it isn't fixed. Fucking hell, what's going on here? My default settings don't quite work. For these, it is working as intended, or at least visually it is. I should have a command here to just output the actual vector of the runes that are allowed to be cubed, just to be sure that this UI mess is correct. Also, there should not be a box down here. I think I found a bug. Okay, let's see if it works now. And let's hope there's no access violation. No, there is. It ran off the array. I have it somewhere else. I removed that last little checkbox. It is in here, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. If button group is clicked. Uh-oh. Now, finally. Okay, let's see. Oh, they don't automatically deactivate anymore. And yes! Yes, I can deselect them. And select them again. Beautiful. Now they only need a kind of tooltip, I guess. Yeah, tooltip like allow cubing or something. Alright, at this point I think the main UI here has been polished to a reasonable degree. This stuff is all working and can decrease, increase. The buttons switch on and off at the appropriate times. And down here I've tidied it up a little bit. This is now also centered and it doesn't touch the buttons anymore when you go for 100,000 runs. So next up I think I'm going to quickly add some buttons to and properly lay out this section. And this is then actually a completed UI for... almost completed. It's kind of a mixed UI for the selected runes mode. Yeah, because this is... well, it just needs repetitions here and use the other vector for the selection, and that will be fine. And then we have that setup UI actually finished. Still not hooked up with the simulate button, and I just noticed that what I need to do is when I'm in select runes mode, that I need to check that there's at least one rune selected. If there isn't, then the simulate button needs to turn off into a passive state. Doesn't that look nice now? As I've added these buttons, still no number in there. I'm going to do that now, I guess. Same formatting as here. Do we have to have specific choices for runtime? I don't believe so, because you should be able to set it in seconds. Yeah, it should be simple enough. But I'm not sure if I'm able to do different font sizes in that. No, probably not. Not in the same string. That would be weird. Okay, I think this is some pretty good progress again. Cleaned this whole section up and already added a bit of logic to this one. So you can increase the runtime in seconds in steps of 5. I think that's reasonable. You don't need individual seconds to increase or decrease here. And it stops at 20. It doesn't let you decrease it more, because that would be ridiculous. And it doesn't let you go beyond 300, because if that is the setting, then you suck so badly that you shouldn't be doing Countess runs, basically. Just basically, right? It's not a run at that point. So yeah, I think this is quite nice. It starts looking pretty decent too. The UI is getting really cool. Oh, also, I added the tooltip, cubing. Cubing on-off, I think that is pretty clear once this one says cubing. And I made it such that the field covers exactly up to here, up to this button. So it naturally fits into the UI in some regard, and it's centered around where the rune would be. So the only time that doesn't work is over here, but yeah, we don't really care, I guess. Okay, that was difficult because it's getting really late, as you can see. Oh well, after how much time? It is 3 hours of programming. My brain is getting a little mushy because of the time of day. So the last little bit here I did with a lot of copy and paste, and I hope for the best that I replace the various variables appropriately for that to work. And I also had to create a few new data structures down... No, not data structures. In the UI, actually. Here. Runs per frame index. And I made it such that... where is it? That the cube time is now in as well. And decrease by ±2. And the runtime is ±5, as I've already stated. The number of... Whoops. That is the wrong description here. This is runs per frame. And that one is following the special logic that it only has certain options, certain choices that make sense. From 1 to 1000 runs per frame. I think that's a fair choice. I don't think there's much needed in between. And if you want to see the progress slowly, then you can always have just 1 run per frame. We could extend it if it's if necessary to have decimals like 0.2 per frame, so that it is at every 5th frame it actually does a run, so that it doesn't go too fast. But then I don't really know if that is necessary. So we'll see how that plays. And so you will probably want to see this in action. Yes, and this should wrap us up for today as well. But let's take a look what we accomplished. Look at this! Isn't it beautiful? So, number of runs, simulate there. You can click all of these buttons, add runes where you like, and all that is saved. Yes, excellent. And now you can select your runtime as well. And that is the runtime per simulated run, of course, in seconds. Stops at 20, stops at 300. Cube time, default 20, stops at 10 and goes to... Let's see if that actually works. Stops at 60. Yes, it does. Runs per frame, default 100, stops at 1 and goes to 1000. Yeah, that's working. And with that, I think I've done a fair deal of work today, and I'm signing off. I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.